Hello and welcome to Online Yin Yoga with Nita. I'm Nita, and today we're going to be doing a spring flow. It's going to be dedicated to targeting the liver and the gallbladder meridians of our body. So basically the inner lines and the outer lines of the body. For today, we're going to need, as always, if you have a bolster or cushions, maybe a rolled blanket that you have at home. And if you have blocks or books you can stack on top of each other, those are really helpful as well to give yourself support and height. And then some tea, some water. I'm sipping on some chai today. Before we begin, this is something I'd like to do in some of my practices. I like to draw a card, either oracle cards or affirmation cards. And today I just wanted to draw one for you. And maybe this would be a nudge from the universe or something to keep in mind as you practice. So, this one says, I receive calm and ease. And I will link to the cards in the box if you're interested in them. These are from Alex Elle, and they're beautiful, beautiful cards. I receive calm and ease. So let's try to bring that into our practice today. And you can use that as a mantra or just as an affirmation and an intention for your practice. All right, so we're going to get started in a comfortable seat. You can sit on a block like me. I'm sitting on one of these blocks to elevate my hips. And that helps me have that alignment in my spine. Head over heart, heart over pelvis. You can sit on a block, a cushion, or just sit cross-legged if that works for you. Wherever you're sitting, we're just gonna relax our shoulders down and back, rooting through our sit bones and rising through the crown of our head. Hands can be on your lap. And then you can soften your gaze or close your eyes. And start connecting with the breath here. Taking big inhales to your belly. And exhale to let it all go. Imagine your belly is this big balloon. And with each inhale, you're just filling it with air, expanding it. And then with each exhale, you're deflating it, right? And try not to force the breath. Just try to pay attention to it and slow it down a bit. Trying to send that energy to your belly. And embrace this expansive awakening of spring, right? This invitation to open up, to light, to blossom, to bloom like flowers. To create space in the body. I receive calm and ease. I receive calm and ease. From here, I invite you to join me in some bee breathing or Brahmari breath. If you have glasses, please take them off. And for Brahmari, there's different ways to do it. I like to bring my hands to my face. So thumbs are going to be on your ear flaps. Index are going to be in the inner corners of your eye. Then middle finger right next to your nose, to your nostrils. Ring finger next to your upper lip. Pinky finger next to your lower lip. Or anywhere around there, really. Just gently placing them on your face. From here, we're just going to take one cleansing breath. Through the nose and then exhale through your mouth. And then for bee breathing, we're literally gonna be like bees. Be like bees. We're gonna hum like bees, okay? So we're gonna take an inhale through the nose. And then on the exhale, we're gonna hum with our lips closed. Inhale. Inhale. Exhale, humming. Two more. Release the hands. Continue to breathe. Notice the vibrations. Notice the hum still echoing through the body. Bringing some calm and ease to the nervous system, to the mind. Notice how you feel. And embracing the power of bees that are going to be buzzing around this season. All right. Within the next breath or two, with no rush, no hurry, start fluttering your eyelids open. And if you were wearing glasses, you could put them back on. And now we're going to get ready to start our first posture of today, or I guess our second, because we were doing sort of Sukhasana, easy pose. We're going to be doing supported bridge to begin. Okay, so even though we're going to focus on the gallbladder and the liver, we're going to start activating the kidney meridian to start, because the kidney energy pretty much sustains all of our internal organs. So grab a block or a prop, keep it next to you. And then we're gonna lie down on our backs. Bend your knees, plant your feet, and bring them as close as you can to your bum so that you can sort of grace your ankles if you were to do that, if you were to try to touch them. They're hip width distance apart, so we're not here, we're not here. Align with the hips. Shoulder blades are tucked in. Back of the skull is pressing towards the ground. And then we press on our feet and lift our hips up. And then we slide a prop under our sacrum. So it can be on the lower, if you have a block, it can be on the lower height to start. And you're gonna place it in that flat part that's below the low spine. So we don't want to place it on your spine, but you're going to place it on the sacrum, kind of where you put your belt on, sort of. You'll know when it hits the right place because it doesn't hurt. It is pretty stable, okay? Hands can be on your belly, on your side, and if it feels appropriate, you can even have them overhead. Slight tuck of the chin here, so we're not overextending the neck. Pressing the back of our skull. Pressing the feet on the ground. And then we breathe here. We soften. If you have your arms overhead and you start feeling any tingling or numbness, just bring your arms down. And as always, remember that if there's any pain, any pinching or burning sensation, that's an indication to come out of the pose. So any in, we're melting, we're embracing stillness in the posture to target the connective tissues, deep connective tissues of the body, but we don't want to be there in pain, right? We don't want to be there holding on to something, gripping. It's kind of like trying to find the comfort in discomfort. And when I say discomfort, I mean the right amount of tension or of stretching, of compression, or twisting in some cases that is appropriate. That is a good stopping point for you where you feel it, but you're not in pain. And only you will know that, okay? If you're in a block and for any reason you feel like you'd like to go to your next stopping point, there's an option to go to the second height of the block or to pile another block on top. And for some of us, extending the legs can also create more sensation in the back body there, in the lower back. Not a lower back, but like a deeper back bend is what I'm trying to say. One more minute here. Opening up the kidney meridian so that we can move into our gallbladder and liver. And why those? Because those are the ones related to spring, according to traditional Chinese medicine. They're related to this season. And related to the wood element. Couple more breaths here. And on the next breath or two. If you had your legs extended, bring them back. Press into your feet, lift your hips up, slide that prop away. And then you can give your knees a hug here, maybe move or sway from side to side to massage your lower back. And then very slowly come up. So maybe go to like a fetal position first, help yourself with your hands. And we're gonna switch things up to Sphinx. So we're gonna actually lie on our bellies now. Have your props close to you in case you need them. Lie on your belly. And then bring your forearms parallel to each other. Elbows slightly under shoulders. They might be a little bit forward. Check in with your lower back. Legs are extended down and back. If this is too much for your lower back, then walk your hands forward. It's going to be less of a back bend. Remember, you have your props, so you can slide a bolster, a blanket, cushion under your chest here. Like so. And just rest in it. Head can be neutral, so you can be looking forward, or you can let it hang. And one of my favorites is just having a block to rest the forehead on. And wherever you land, remember your breath. Stay with it. So again, we're still with kidney activation here. And then we're going to move on with some of the postures for our spring meridians. A lot of inner line stretches, outer line stretches, hip openers, twists are going to work on those organs. And just to share a little bit more about what they mean, right? So let's remember that these meridians are like energetic channels, so they're not necessarily just the organ, right? Just the liver, just the gallbladder. So they're lines that go along the body that have certain starting points and certain stopping points. But they're lines where the energy flows, okay? And so with these postures, we're trying to promote that free flow of energy to try to get any stagnation, any stuck points, anything that's trapped there, try to release that, whether it's physical, right, or energetic or spiritual, right? So for example, the gallbladder meridian, that's the outer line of the body, and I'll put some little drawings here for you to see that. It's all about decision making and clarity according to Chinese medicine. And so when you're having balances in any of these areas of the meridian, this outer line of the body, you might have some trouble making decisions or lack of clarity or feeling a little over the place, right? All right, in the next breath or so, we're going to release our Sphinx. And we're gonna lie down. And we're gonna bring our left hand next to our head. Turn your head towards the left, so right cheek on the mat. I'm not gonna press it because I have my headphones and my glasses, but and then draw your left knee up as if you were drawing it towards your armpit, sort of. So you have your arm in 90-degree angle, your left arm in 90-degree angle, your left knee in 90-degree angle. And then your right leg is extended. Release here. Release that. And then we're gonna do the same with the other leg. So draw your right arm 90-degree. Draw your right knee towards your armpit. Turn your left cheek to place it on the mat, and then look at your right arm. Left leg is extended. Left arm can also be extended down. I have it under my head so I don't press on my earbud. Release in the lower back here. All right. Come back to center and then come up to all fours. If you need any movement of the spine here, maybe a few hip wiggles, a few cat cows, please take them. Inhaling on cow, dropping belly, lifting crown of the head and tailbone. Exhaling on cat, belly button to spine, rounding your back. Dropping the crown, dropping the tailbone. Maybe some S shapes, some barrel rolls. All right, and now we're gonna move into swan. So we're gonna start with the right leg. So we're gonna bring your right knee towards your right wrist. Left leg is extended down and back. And then check in with your knee here, okay? So if it's bothering you, bring your foot closer to your groin. You don't have to be in a 90-degree angle here at all. So see where you want your foot to be, that front foot. You can also have a cushion or a blanket under your hips if that feels more grounded. And then we're gonna stay on swan or pigeon. Hands can be on a bolster, on blocks, or just on the mat. I have short arms, so it helps me to have something to put them on. We're gonna stay up here for a minute, and then we're gonna go to the sleeping swan version. So if you rush into the sleeping swan, stay with me. Unless you have your body's asking for it, then go for it. As always, the invitation is to listen. But if you'd like to come with me, stay here for just a minute. And if swan is not an option for you today, remember you can take deer, which basically is bringing kind of 90 to 90 degree legs. So front leg is slightly in 90-degree or closer, back leg as well. So you can always take deer pose if swan is not an option today. Breathe here. So now we're getting into some of the inner lines of the body, some of the liver meridians. So we talked about the gallbladder a little bit. The liver meridian runs through the inner lines of the legs. So all of these like hip openers, or even stretches through the inner legs are targeting that meridian. And the liver, when it's in balance, it can show up as anger, right? So, but then when it's balanced, it can show up as kindness. So when we're working on these meridians, and now you can take your sleeping swan. So you can come down to your forearms or come down to hug your bolster. It can feel quite nice. Or just down to the mat, if that feels good for you. So when we're working on these meridians, yes, we're targeting the connective tissue and these lines of the body, but we're also working energetically. So by allowing this flow of energy to move and, go its course, like run its course, or we're also kind of releasing any energetic blockages, right? And that's why when we're in some postures, we might feel some emotions. We're like, oh my God, what's coming up? That's very normal, very natural, because everything's connected. We're not just, our mind is not separated from the body or separated from the spirit. It's all one beautiful compound. So feel the sensations here in your swan and your sleeping swan or sleeping deer. So if you were in deer, just take the sleeping deer version is what I call it. So just lower on top of that front leg and feel the stretch. I feel it in my buttocks a lot here. There's a lot going on. Hips are opening, legs are stretching, glutes, quads. Notice if you're holding any tension and try to soften it into it. I receive calm and ease. All right, a couple more breaths here. And then come up. You had a bolster, just move it aside and then leave this right leg as it is. Kind of put your weight on that right hip and help your left leg come all the way on top of it. So we're going to move into shoelace. So for shoelace, we're trying, not really trying, but a version of the posture looks like knee on top of knee. Again, all of our bodies are different. I don't think I can get knee over knee exactly. So just bringing that left leg on top, and then your feet can be as close to your hips or as far as it feels good for you. Couple of options here. Some people like having a block in between the knees or having a cushion or a blanket under the hips. Some people don't really like full shoelace, so the bottom leg, they have it extended and they just bring the top leg like so. So play with it, okay? It doesn't have to look a certain way. Wherever your shoelace version of today is, we're gonna play with a twist, okay? So we're gonna twist towards that left leg, so the top leg. Bringing that left arm behind you, right arm maybe on top of that knee. But we're not forcing the twist, okay? We're just keeping ourselves in place here. Inhaling to lengthen through the crown. Exhaling to soften into that twist. We're going to be here for about a minute or so. Closer to 2 minutes. So that's the sweet spot of yin, right? Some people ask like, okay, so how long do I hold the posture? So minimum of a minute, because you gotta let the body be in it, right? After a minute is when the tissues start to like, okay, we're here. And so the body may or may not open up more. So that's where the stopping point of sensation comes to play. So you might hear me saying, find your first stopping point, stay, and then maybe after a while, you find your next stopping point. So that's the edge of sensation, where it's not too much, not too little, it's just right. It's the Goldilocks. All right. One more breath here. We release the twist, and then we're just gonna side bend towards the same side. So keep your shoelace, place your left hand next to your hip, and then try to find the appropriate placement. So maybe it's farther from you, closer to you, but we're just gonna side bend here. So the right arm, you don't have to go all the way here. Maybe you just hold your lower back, opening your chest a bit. So it's a gentle side bend, I would say. Breathe into it. I receive calm and ease. Okay. Couple more breaths here. And then very slowly we come back up. Now we release the shoelace. Plant your feet, widen that stance, plant your hands behind you, and give me a couple of windshield wipers. Ooh. I'm feeling it. If you're feeling it, you're doing it. And now we get ready to go to the other side. So we're gonna do first our swan or deer. I'm gonna come to this side for a change. So remember, bringing your left leg this time, so left knee towards left wrist. And then that left foot can be as close or as far as it feels good for your swan. Right leg is extended down and back. And then you can be up here Or you can have a bolster or blocks to help yourself come up a bit more. We're going to be here for a minute before we lower to our sleeping swan version. And again, if you're in deer, remember 90 to 90 or around there. I don't like saying 90 to 90 because I feel like people, you might think that your legs have to be in a 90-degree, but they don't. So feet can be as close to your body or as far as you need to. It's just the way I hear the pose sometimes called. Breathing into your swan, feeling this side, checking in, seeing how it feels. And remember that if the knee's bothering you, then bring your foot closer to you. Okay, and then very slowly, we're gonna move down to our sleeping swan. So if you're like me and wanna hug your bolster, your blanket, come down and hug it. Or just come down to the mat, to the ground. See if you're dumping your weight all into your left leg and try to, it happens to me a lot, try to equal sort of the weight on your hips so it's not like this or like that as much as you can without forcing it. Spring, spring. So what is spring to you? What does the season mean to you? Personally, it means light, and then it means days are starting to get longer, sunshine is out, maybe snow will end eventually at some point over here in Calgary. You start to see maybe some flower buds. Maybe the grass starts to come up as well. Trees get their green back slowly. It's like seeing nature come alive again. And I love that. Although my favorite season is summer, spring is kind of like that new beginning, right? Like that opening to light. All right, so very slowly, we're gonna wake up our swan or a deer. Come up. Remove the prop, and then remember, leave that bottom leg like it is, and we're gonna swing our right leg, our top leg, to our shoelace. So this side might be very different. Check in. And remember, it doesn't have to look a certain way. You can be in half shoelace with your left leg extended, right leg on top. You can have props, blocks, anything. Okay, so once you have your base, we're gonna twist towards the right side this time. So take a big inhale, arms up, exhale, twist. So bringing that right hand behind you. That left hand can be on that knee. And you're looking towards the right. Breathing here. Inhaling to lengthen through the crown. Lengthen your spine. Exhaling to melt into that twist. Mm. Couple more breaths here. And then we come back. Maybe inhale, arms up. Exhale through the heart. And now we're going to go into that side bend. So right hand next to your hip. Find the right placement. Maybe the left hand can just be on your lower back, sort of holding it. And then we side bend. We create space between the shoulders and the ears. Shining your chest forward and up. Bright collarbones. And we breathe. Working on those outer lines of the body, but also twisting over here, internal organs. Or I guess not twist, compression. We twisted before. Oof. Feeling it. Feeling what's happening here. What's happening in your legs. All right. Couple more breaths. And we're slowly coming up. And we go into those windshield wipers again. So release the shoelace. Ooh. Feel into those windshield wipers. I can't help to think about the wheels on the bus, the song that my kid sings, and how the wipers go swish, swish, swish. So think about swish, swish, swish. All right. Okay, so now we're gonna work on the inner lines a bit more. So we're gonna move into straddle. It might help to elevate your hips on a cushion or a bolster. My bolster is a little thick, so I won't sit on that right now. But if you have something that's comfortable for you to sit on, I would recommend it. Even sit on the edge, maybe of a thin block if you have one. And then widen your legs as much as it feels okay for you. You don't have to be in the splits. And then remove the fleshy bits of the bum, move them away, ground into your sit bones here. And then first we're gonna forward fold on top of that right leg. So turn towards your right, inhale. And then fold onto the right leg. And then here you can have blocks for your arms. You can create a little prop tower situation. Or you can fold a bolster. Sometimes I like this too, just like having a diagonal bolster here. So find what works for you. And just melt on top of that right leg. So we're working on those inner lines here. Opening the hips. But in a way, we're also sort of working on the outer lines of the body as well. Breathe. Check in with your toes, your fingers. Is there any tension there? Can you soften? What's happening in your cheeks, your jaw, the space between your eyebrows? Check in. I receive calm and ease. If the mind wanders, if you get distracted, that's okay. It's the mind. Come back to the breath. Come back to the sensations in your body. Or come back to this mantra, I receive calm and ease. All right, in the next breath or so, we slowly come up. And then we move on to our left leg. If you need a couple windshield wipers before, actually, just give ourselves that. Yeah. Kind of a reset, okay? Come back to straddle. Bring your props with you. Again, grounding sit bones. Inhaling. Turning to the left side, and then exhale to lower and melt over that left leg. Oof. Might feel really yummy on this other side after doing that on the right leg. So notice the difference. Our bodies are not perfectly symmetrical, so there's always maybe a side that feels different, maybe a part of your body that feels different. Just check in. You don't have to label it like this is good or bad or right or wrong. It's just is. And it's a good practice to connect with the body and listen to what it needs. So maybe when you're sitting down at your desk and you feel something, you're like, oh, I feel this on my back. Maybe I need this stretch right now. Maybe I need to stand up and go for a little walk. So it's that awareness, right? Bringing that awareness to not just to the mat, but just to your life, okay? To your everyday life. Listening to the body a bit more, even if it's a bit more. I always say listening to the whispers before it starts screaming at you, before it's in pain and in a chronic situation, right? Listen to the whispers. Okay. Couple more breaths on this side. We come up. And then we go to the middle, okay? So you might need another windshield wiper before. Take it. Swish, swish. And then we come to the middle. So I'm gonna bring my prop with me. I like having the bolster kind of on a horizontal position. And then I inhale. And then I exhale and I melt towards the middle. Breathing here. Noticing where you're holding. Where can you soften? All right, couple more breaths here. And then we come up. Take another windshield wiper and then get ready to lie down on your back. You can also take some windshield wipers while lying down. Skin feels really nice. Swish, swish. And then you're gonna extend your legs. We're gonna move into Bananasana. So the main thing is to keep your hips glued to the mat here. So they're not moving. They're staying here in the center. Okay. So first we're gonna move our feet towards the lower right corner of the mat. As much as you can, until you can't move them any further. Hips are glued in the center. They're not moving. Nothing else is moving. Once your feet are all the way there, you can have left foot over right foot, right over left, or just one next to the other. You choose. And then we're gonna bring your hands up, interlace fingers, and then bring both hands behind your head. And then you're gonna use them to help bring your head and your shoulders towards the upper right corner of the mat. So shimmy, shimmy your way there. Hips are still glued, they're not moving. Once you make it all the way there to the upper right corner, your hands can stay here, or you can release them, bring your arms overhead, and use your right hand to grab your left wrist. Just grab it, keep it in place. Bananasana. So here you can definitely go, you're probably feeling a really yummy side stretch on that left side body, that lateral line that goes from your hands all the way down to your feet. So the outer of the banana. If your arms feel numb, remember, bring them down. Keep your shoulders grounded. Your hips grounded. All of these points of support, keeping you in place. as the energy flows. So you're in stillness or you're still in motion. The next breath, very slowly, we release the banana, we come to the center. If you need to hug your knees, do so. Quick reset. And bring your legs back down and extend it. Remember, hips are glued. And then we bring both feet now towards the lower left corner until you can't move them any further. Right foot on top of left, left on top of right, you choose, or one next to the other. Inhale, bring your hands up. Interlace fingers. Bring both hands behind your head and then use them to help shimmy your head and shoulders to the upper left corner of the mat. Ooh. Until you can't move it any further. Stay here. Feel that stretch on the right side body now. And remember, arms can be behind your head, or you can extend them overhead using your left hand to grab your right wrist. What do you feel? I receive calm and ease. Stay with the breath. Embrace all the spring energy. The kindness, the clarity, the openness. And very slowly release the banana. Come back to center and then hug your knees. Sway from side to side. And then very gently let both of your knees fall towards the right side for a twist. Left arm can be extended, cactus. Gaze is up or towards the left for a further twist. Getting ready to close the practice. Getting ready to fully relax. Feel how the energy is flowing. Scan your body from the top of your head to the tip of your toes. All right, then bring your knees back up to center. And then let your knees drop towards the left side this time. Right arm is extended, cactus, wherever you want to place it. Gaze is up or towards the right for a further twist. Right shoulder is grounded. You can always place a blanket or a cushion under it. Then very slowly bring your knees back to center. Take anything you need before coming into Shavasana. So maybe waterfall your legs. Maybe you need a few windshield wipers. Maybe a happy baby. Take what you need. And then when you're ready, take your Shavasana. So blankets, pillows, pillow forts, whatever feels good. I always like having a bolster under my knees. And just complete and utter relaxation here. Taking space in your mat. Legs are relaxed, arms are relaxed. Your gaze is soft, or if it feels safe, you can close your eyes. Feel the ground holding you. Feel your body heavy, heavy. Surrendering to the here and now. Before I leave you with a quiet Shavasana, I just want to share a poem that's very timely for spring. It's by beautiful Mary Oliver. It's called Wild Geese. It goes like this. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal off your body loved what it loves. Tell me about this bear, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. Very gently and very slowly, start waking up your body, wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, moving your ankles, your wrists. Start coming back to this space, to the room you're at right now. And if you'd like to close the practice in Shavasana, please do. Or I invite you to join us in a seated position once you're ready. Wherever you are, I invite you to bring your hands together and create some energy, some friction. And then place it in your heart. Feel that warmth. Feel your presence and thank yourself for being here. Take a deep breath through your nose. Exhale, let it all out. One more deep breath in. Bring your hands together to prayer. And exhale, bowing. Namaste. Light in me sees the light in you. Thank you for showing up. I'll see you in the next practice.